10 deals you absolutely do not want to miss out on during the Black Friday sale if you're a fan of this channel. Let's get into it. First up is the Victrix Pro FS. I've had this since 2018, I think, and the new version actually has a touchpad in the middle, and it is on sale. Usually this arcade stick goes for $400, but it is currently 20% off, and at $400, that means it's $320. It's like $80 off. And also, the one that came out later, FS12, which is actually not a fight stick, it's an all-button controller, so it's almost exactly the same chassis, but it doesn't have an arcade stick. Instead, it has 4 separate buttons for controls. And if you're into modern fighting games, you will know that there are plenty of benefits why you would want to use a controller like this. I won't go into the details. I've got separate videos and reviews on my Victrix Pro FS and the Victrix Pro FS12. But if you've been eyeing up this controller, this is a significant discount. Now, in all honesty, I don't use the FS12 so much because if I'm going to use a leverless controller, it makes sense to just use the smallest, slimmest, tiniest controller that I can get. Number 9 on the list, it's the Razer Kitsune. This controller is 17% off during the Black Friday sale. This usually goes for $300, but it's $50 off, so you can get this for $249.99. I always feel like the Home Shopping Network when I say the price out loud, $99.99.99. Now, there's a huge number of leverless controllers, and you absolutely do not need to spend $250 to get one, but the Razer Kitsune is one of the very few leverless controllers that is actually officially licensed. And so if there is an update to PlayStation's firmware that makes all not officially licensed controllers just kind of break, then you don't really need to worry because an officially licensed controller is generally guaranteed to work, and at least it's in Sony's best interest to make sure that those continue to be compatible. You can spend $50 and get a leverless controller, but the Razer Kitsune, I have got a review video on this. It's got flashing lights, it's got really nice buttons, optical, mechanical switches, it's super slim and light, and also it's just the same size as an iPad. One last thing I will point out is that even though I have access to a huge number of controllers, the Kitsune is the one that I chose to bring to Tokyo Game Show with me. What am I talking about? Not Tokyo Game Show, Evo Japan 2024. I just thought I need something reliable, which is super slim, which is a fighting game tournament. Next up at number 8, it's the PSVR 2. I use this actually more than all of my other VR headsets, which is to say I don't actually have time to play a lot of VR these days, but when I do play VR, I usually play this because my main thing for VR is Gran Turismo 7. You need to play it obviously on a PS4 or a PS5, so if you want to play it in VR on a PS5, you'll need this. Down from $550 to $349. It's 37% off. I bought this knowing that I would only play GT7 and nothing else. I'm just crying at the price though because I'm looking at it, $349. I paid full price for this when this thing was $550. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically you put this on your face and in virtual reality you look like you are driving the car. You can look around, you can even look into the passenger seat. Gran Turismo 7 in VR is insane. And while we're talking about VR, at number 7, it's this, the BOBOVR S3 Pro. This is absolutely worth every penny. It's 20% off now. It used to be $90, it's now $71.99. The included strap on the Meta Quest 3 is basically a bit of rubber that squeezes the whole thing against your face, and literally after like 5 or 10 minutes, you'll already be like, my face kind of hurts, this is awful. This thing, you feel like it's just kind of floating in front of your face. It's just kind of hovering in front of you while the battery's just fallen off. Let me just show you what this is. It's a magnetic battery that sticks onto here. If you charge one while you're using the other, you can basically play VR indefinitely, which I don't think is a very good idea anyway. At number 6, check this out. It's a GAN 12 magnetic Rubik's Cube. This is one of the most fun things I have ever purchased. If you watch the original video, I actually went through a huge number of cubes. I even bought the GAN 15, which is the most recent one, but I much prefer this one. It's called the GAN 12. But this GAN 12 magnetic cube is $42, 35% off the original price. I won't go into too much detail, but I will say this. Speed cubing is one of the most fun hobbies I have ever got into. I've had it with this thing. The main feature you need to know about is that it has auto alignment. So if I flick it like this, it continues on and actually finishes the turn for me. I can't praise this thing enough. Clicking everything in place perfectly is so satisfying. Even if you don't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, just buy one and just click it around. You can also check out this. It's a smart cube. If you're really interested in Rubik's Cubes, but you really can't figure out any of the tutorials, you can get this It actually comes with an app, and every time you turn the cube in real life, it will actually turn the cube virtually on the screen to show you exactly what to do with every single step. At number 5, it's the Ugreen magnetic iPhone stand. If you've got an Android, there might be something similar for you as well. But basically, on an iPhone, it has a circular magnet here at the back, which means that you can stick it on a magnet stand like this, and you can have it at any angle. And the reason I love this stand so much is that I can use it without holding it. The way that we use our smartphones is just really bad for my hands. Like, even just a few minutes using my smartphone, I'm kind of like, this feels wrong. So you can actually have it like here. You can use your finger up like this, or you can use your thumb like this. But none of your like pinky finger is being forced to like support the weight. I love this product so much. I've actually got 2 of them, and I always buy them when they're on sale. Currently it is $17.99. This is 28% off the original price, so usually it's like $25. And also, just as you can see, it folds up super compact like this. Coming up at number 4, it's the Elgato key light. I spent way more than this. I spent something like $300, like $250. At the time that I bought these lights, the pricing was insane. For some reason, it was just really popular. It wasn't even like a pandemic or anything. It was just, for some reason, it was really expensive. The retail price is only $160, but right now it's 19% off, so you can get this for $129.99. I love these lights. I've actually got 2 of them, and I've got one set up where I do live streaming, and I've got one set up on this table. If you've been watching my videos for the past 2 years, you've been watching this light. If you like the lighting in this video, you'll probably like the lighting of this Elgato key light. Another thing that's super beneficial about this is that it's got multiple apps. You can get an app on your PC, on your Mac. You can also get it here on your phone or your iPad, and you can get it to control the light so it's always the same temperature and the same brightness every single time. The next product is something I'm actually using right now. It's a monitor for my camera when I'm recording videos. This is a FeelWorld F5 Pro version 4, and at the moment I think it's like $105, $106, so it's 24% off. It usually goes for $139.99. I think there's actually newer versions as well. There's like an F5 Pro X. I think there's also an F6, but at this price, $106. Focus peaking, it's got waveforms, histograms. It's like everything you could possibly ask for in a monitor. Almost there. Here at number 2 is my MHW coffee scale. I love this thing to bits. I use this to measure coffee beans and coffee, especially when I'm making espressos. For those fine adjustments, it goes up to 1/10 of a gram as opposed to cheap coffee scales, which are often more expensive than this. And those only show you like a single gram. So you don't know if you're closer to 8 grams or you're closer to 9 grams. This is like, you are at 8.4 grams. It's like, okay, and now I know at least which gram I'm closer to. If you're pouring coffee and you're trying to get the water all the way to the edges, you're going to spill water on the scale itself. So when I'm using a scale that isn't water resistant, I kind of panic, but this one is water resistant, so I feel very safe. And it's also got a USB-C port for charging, which is covered. If you want to see more videos where I make coffee and use scales and taste coffee and talk about stuff, check out the While I'm Making Coffee series. Anyway, it's time to move up to number 1. Again, this is in no particular order. It's just kind of the order of stuff that I thought of them. It's a Positive Grid Spark Mini 10-watt amplifier. Now, if you're learning guitar, practicing guitar, just making some riffs up or composing or just coming up with ideas for stuff, this thing is absolutely awesome because look how small it is. It just sits on your desk, and even if you're not using it, it looks cool. It looks like a giant amp cabinet from like stage shows, but it's, you know, it's just sitting here on your desk. The reason it looks like an amp cabinet is because it's got this sort of faux leather on the sides, and it's got this sort of grid here. It can all be controlled with your smartphone, so if you want to get like a bluesy sound so you can practice some blues, that works. If you want to get a nice clean sound, you want an overdriven sound, if you want backing tracks, if you want, it's got like AI in here. I think it can like invent a backing track for you. You just like play some chords into it. I don't use that feature so much. It's just a really nice product, and at $179, I think you get a lot of bang for your buck. It's insane how much stuff you can get at such a low price these days. But anyway, $179. This thing used to be $229 retail, so it's 22% off. Listen, I realize that I'm kind of late to the Black Friday sale. I should have made this video about a week ago, but I'm one of those people that doesn't think about Black Friday sales until the sale is almost already over. The only sale I actually really think about during the year is the Steam Summer Sale. I'm like thinking about the Steam Summer Sale like months and months in advance. I recommend all the stuff on this list. It's not just a random list of things that I think are like cheap and so you might want to check it out. It's like actually love all the stuff on here. I think the only one that I don't use is the Victrix Pro FS12, but it's like, it's a really nice product that, like, I'm not going to carry around something that heavy. If you liked any of the products you saw today, be sure to use the Amazon affiliate links that you see in the description box below. It massively helps me out while adding absolutely no extra cost to the price for you. But even if you don't use the affiliate links or if you don't buy this stuff on sale, all of this stuff is quality, cool stuff that I highly recommend. Anyway, that's all for now. I've been Nihongo. Okay, I made a huge mistake. I kind of scrambled this cube while I was making the video, and now my OCD is preventing me from finishing the video until I finished this cube. J-perm, nice. Okay, finally finished it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've been NihongoGamer. I'll see you real soon.